Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Edessa, the Dark Crusade. In today's episode, we have Calixte Dumorn entering the city of Edessa, as he normally does. A couple of hours after sunset, he greets the guards in his accustomed entrance, and of course, as is normal, he drops whenever they clasp hand, if they decide to clasp wrists with him, or if they ignore him. The guards there are always compensated in some small way for allowing him entrance. Either way, if they ignore his entrance, if they greet him, as they are doing today, greeting him by name, clasping hands, coins will exchange hands to ensure that the shift that is guarding that particular gate has enough coin to at least buy a few rounds when they are off duty, because they deserve it.
Well, as that is happening, there's a figure dressed in heavy armor and the coat of a night hospitaller riding on a horse, about to leave the city when he suddenly hears the name Calixte Dumorn. And he knows that name because that's exactly the person he was trying to find outside the city. And Reinhardt will suddenly turn around his head and right move his horse towards the Calixte and say, "I beg your pardon. Did I hear that correctly? Are you Calixte Dumorn?"
Calixte will look at the figure on their horse, and an eyebrow will raise. My name is not generally known by those who do not give theirs. Step off your horse. Allow me to greet you.
And Reinhard will dismount and he'll offer his hand. "My name is Reinhard."
And of course, Calixte will clasp wrists with obviously a fellow Frank. I am Calixte Morn. It's good to meet you, Reinhard.
I was hoping to find you and meet you and get to know you. I believe we are distant relatives.
Distant relatives. Are you saying that you have a vote?
Not well. Yes, if that's how you wish to put it.
Then let us leave these men to their noble duty. I know a public house not far from here.
Reinhard frowns at the mention of a public house, but he'll ask, "What kind of public house?"
A tavern, my friend.
He, you see that he becomes a bit more relaxed. He thought you had something else in mind. But tavern is agreeable. He'll say, "Very well. Does the tavern offer enough privacy?
I believe there are a few private rooms, yes.
Very well.
And I believe Calixte and Reinhardt will go find a public house that allows for private booths. And of course, Calixte, as his wont, he will slip a couple of coins into the hand of the barmaid or barman who allows them a small modicum of privacy.
Right. Reinhardt, on his part, left his horse, I suppose. If the tavern has. Well, I don't suppose the tavern would have a stable attached. So he'd have to leave his horse outside, but he'd get some more. He'd request from the innkeeper that someone keep an eye on, someone watch his horse, and he'd give him a little bit of coin, and then say, "I'll give one. You'll get more when I get my horse back."
Right. When they're seated, finally, Calixte will offer up the illusion that they are nothing more than mortals. He will order a large tankard of whatever ale that they have.
Reinhardt will mimic that.
And to sip periodically at it. No. When you say we are distant cousins, are you saying what I believe you are?
Reinhardt, we are now that they are in the private room. Reinhardt will smile, and his fangs will grow. And then he retracts them again.
So you do have a vote, clan brother.
Yes, I do. And indeed, from what I've heard, we actually are clan brothers. I've been trying to meet all the Brujah of the city, as well as all the candidates for the position of Baron. You happen to be both,
Do
or so I
brothers
am told.
indeed. I have put my name forth.
What do you intend to achieve with this? Why have you put your name forth? I'm curious.
I'm being asked this question more and more lately. The reason I have put my name forth is because I see potential within the city. I see it as a home. I see it as a reason to abandon certain habits that I have grown used to in the years since I have left my sire.
Care to elaborate on the habits?
I've gone from place to place, never staying anywhere more than a couple of weeks or a few months. This is the first place that my family The few kindred that I surround myself with have decided to stay for any sort of extended period of time.
You mean the Wildlings, I believe, was the name I heard?
Isn't that what we are being called now?
It is a name that I heard for a group of kindred living outside of the city.
Indeed, we have made our home within some of the ruins that surround the city. Some of my brothers and sisters do not appreciate always being able to be found. They exist in almost a constant state of paranoia because they have moved around for so long. I mean, to make the city a home, not only for my family, but for kindred as well. Kindred such as yourself and others. I mean, to make this place a bastion of Jerusalem's power within this chaos of the desert.
Hmm. So interesting. So you look favorably upon Jerusalem.
The war, as it seems that I know now, was between the Lasombra and the Nosferatu.
Yes, from what I've heard, those were the principal clans involved. The old prince was La Sombra, and the new one is the Nosferatu.
It was one that left the land and the people decimated. Every day, kindred scrounge for kind. And I do not believe that this should be so.
And what do you make of the blood tithe?
The blood tithe is necessary. For if we complete the blood tithe, we are indeed entitled to a modicum of protection from Jerusalem. However, should the Prince of Jerusalem, should Ezekiel go back on this inherent I can't think of it. Should the Prince of Jerusalem, Ezekiel the Beautiful, go back on this inherent aspect of what it means to rule?
If he does so, you're saying if the prince does not fulfill his duty towards his subjects will not fulfill their duty towards their prince? Is that what you're saying?
The rule of law goes both ways, grandmother. By assuming you are committing yourself to the people who, as they are committing themselves to you. You cannot change this. This is inherent.
I will not disagree with that. And where do you propose to find the mortals to pay the tithe?
Hmm. I have told one other individual where I believe the tithe to come. The kindred who call this place home, who seek shelter and protection within the city, will be required to aid in the tithe. No one kindred who seeks protection within the city will pay more than another. And one way that I propose that this be done is those that blacken their souls, those that decide society and civilization and the rules bound thereof are not for them. The rapists, the murderers, the lawbreakers. They won't use the tithe forced upon all, even myself. For though my herd is small, I will not refuse to bear any responsibility that I have.
And does Reinhard nods, and he actually appears to be smiling a bit. No, I agree. Uh, if we are to pay a blood tithe, that would be the best place to get it from.
You see, the prince does not define where his blood tithe should come. He merely defines that it should come. If he has any issue with the tithe that I offer when I am barren, I will deal with it then.
And what would you do if the blood tithe grows larger? If a messenger comes saying that the prince now wants 40 people or 60
For one, I
or
would ask
more.
why.
Sorry?
For one, I would know why. His increase in blood tithe when he has so many other cities. Why 40 or 60 people from such a small city?
A reasonable response.
I would know why. And those that I pick, those that I choose to be by my side and to have their voices blend with mine, their advice within my ears, I would ask them what they believed to be done. I would not make decisions without proper preparation. I am not an overlord. I am not a tyrant. You and I are the clan of philosopher kings. We do not go without knowing.
have a few more questions, if you would care to answer. Um, Tell me, how pious are you, and what god do you pray to?
It's at this that Calixte will reach into his shirt and he will pull out a silver cross. He will kiss it and he will let it fall. The God of my youth, the God I was taught of, the God who led me into the salvation of rebirth, and his son died to make sure I was cleansed of sin.
At this point, you can see Reinhardt's smile. He very clearly approves. He's not masking his emotions. Even if he tried, he was not good at it at all. But he's very clearly happy with the answer. Good. I'm happy to hear that. It is good to meet another Christian, perhaps even another Catholic.
Indeed, I was raised Catholic. Though my sire, I will not hide from you, clan brother, my sire was Muslim, and he taught me many things. He taught me the similarities of the God that we worship. However,
Yes?
the Prince of Princes, the Lamb of God, is as such. He is not to be ignored.
Of course not. My penultimate question. What do you think of the whole election? It is not the normal way a Baron is chosen. In fact, someone went out of their way recently to point out just that, quite publicly. Well, at the same time publicly, and not quite publicly enough to let their name be known. Have you heard of the scandal? Well, scandal. Job is most upset.
You mean the treason to Jerusalem?
I suppose that's one way to put it.
That is how Job views it. At least, if that is the view that I am supposed to believe. The vote, specifically, seems to be an agent not of Job's doing, but of Ezekiel's himself.
Yes, of course, that was made quite clear.
Now, I do believe that he is using a vote to more firmly place a target on an adversary he believes he has. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Not quite. I'm not sure who you mean by adversary.
If you understand, the best way to get rid of those most readily able to defy you, most readily able to contradict your ruling, you give them highly desired positions of power. What Ezekiel is doing with the vote is he is trying to pinpoint a target. He is trying to put a target on the back of a kindred who is more than likely able, or who he believes able, to fight him. What he doesn't believe or what he doesn't see as of now is I am no such kindred.
So you believe that the purpose of the vote was to ferret out all the ambitious kindred of the city who would want to take over.
Jerusalem, yes.
I never thought of it that way. I suppose it is a possibility.
However, as I said, there are more important issues facing Edessa than who sits in Jerusalem. I will be loyal to Ezekiel within Jerusalem. I fully intend to be loyal.
If you had to choose between the Prince of Jerusalem and the kindred of your city, who would you side with?
Hmm.
Let's assume that the kindred of this city a majority wishes to rebel against Jerusalem and declare independence. How would you as Baron handle such a situation?
Again,
Certainly we have some, well, let's say treasonous elements, or at least treasonous from the perspective of Jerusalem.
indeed.
That is without doubt. Should these sentiments spread, how would you handle it?
For one, hypothetically speaking, if we are speaking of a legitimate rabble, rather than specifically, we do not want a Nosferatu as prince. If we are speaking of a legitimate argument against Ezekiel within Jerusalem, I would have you know that I swore to Job that I would serve Ezekiel the Beautiful until the day my sword breaks.
Well,
As he, as he, his hand places upon the pommel of his sword, not in any sort of threatening manner,
mhm.
just as a, this is the sword that I swore upon. This is the blade that will serve Jerusalem.
A sworn oath is something that needs to be taken seriously.
My oaths are not something that I ignore.
You know what? I think I'm starting to like you a little bit. Would
Very,
you would
some
you do?
have decided.
Go on.
Some people have decided to underestimate me. They see who I call brother and sister, and they see rabble. They see low clans. But the people that I call brother and sister are those that have proven themselves time and time again to be kindred worth aligning yourself with. So I have a question for you.
Ask away. You've patiently answered all my questions. It is only just that I answer whatever questions you may have for me.
Should I become Baron, I want to know that my clan, those that call my clan family, will be beside me, will offer their voices into my ears when I know I need them or I am being foolish. Are you such a kindred?
Can you repeat that? I'm not entirely sure what you're asking.
I'm asking if I receive the title of Baron, will you help me?
I will do what I will do what is I, I will work towards the good of the city. I suppose it might be helpful to explain where I stand on Ezekiel and Jerusalem, and you can make out of that what you will. My stance at the moment is one of non-commitment. I have not quite decided yet how I feel about Ezekiel and Jerusalem and their lordship over Edessa. I'm waiting to see how Ezekiel rules, if the tithes stay what they are, if the tithes go up, I'm or if I don't know, if the city is besieged by, if the Turks grow bolder and they lay siege to the city and the tithe cannot be sent, how Ezekiel would react to that. That's so. I'm not committed to serving Jerusalem. I'm not committed to fighting against Jerusalem. I'm waiting to see if what kind of prince Ezekiel is. In the meantime, if you would wish to protect the city, you would have my sword.
Would I have your vote, brother?
No. No one is going to have my vote. I do not know anyone well enough to vote. And besides, if I vote, I acknowledge Jerusalem. I acknowledge the rules set by Ezekiel. I acknowledge Ezekiel as my prince. That would go against my stance of non-commitment.
I see your view, and I understand it. And I'm not saying you are wrong for it. Seeing what type of prince Ezekiel will be is an intelligent way to go. However, I would point out that I am someone that you can know. I am not solely Ezekiel's creature. I swore loyalty to him through Job to ensure that this place can be and can reach the potential that I see within it. If that changes, I will then not ignore it. Ezekiel, so far, has proven something worth time, something worth investigating. And I will not deny that I swore loyalty to him. However, voting for me, I believe, would be better than allowing the La Sombra, Ezekiel's enemy, for so long. The Nosferatu's enemy for so long. To sit within the castle. And I have told you that your views and your voice would not be ignored when I, or if I, am to be Baron.
Yes, but I'm afraid I will have to remain committed to the course I have chosen. I do, I have to say, I would perhaps prefer it somewhat if you won, but if Ulrich wins, well, I've said it before, whoever wins, as far as I'm concerned, is on probation. Should the winner prove capable and pious Baron, they will have my support, they will have my sword. Should they prove incompetent, they will be replaced by someone more able, and should they prove to be evil, wicked, impious, well then they will have to be removed in a more permanent manner.
I understand you. I'm just saying. I do not know of Gale. I do not know what God he worships. I know what God I worship. I won't try to convince you. I won't bow down and kiss your boots to ensure that your vote is cast in my favor. I will say that you do have one. You have a voice, you have a coin, a vote. To ignore it would be to welcome the possibility of the latter of your situations. To ignore it would welcome those of ill intent to sit upon the seat that is the barony. However, your ears are your own. Your coin is your own, your vote is your own. And I respect you for it. as much as I need it, as much as I know I need it. I respect you for your steadfastness, your steadfastness. Blah. My tongue doesn't want to form words. Anyway, yeah. So you were steadfast. Is there any other questions that you have for me?
Yeah, you've been very patient, and I've spent a lot of your time. There was one more thing I wanted, but I'm not sure how much time you still have, far you need to travel to return to your companions. I was going to ask you if you would do me the courtesy of a sparring match. We may also do it some other night. I'm not in a hurry.
Out of character, I do have an ST thing that I need to get to for another game. But
Right.
in,
So,
in character, Calixte will say, I am always welcome for a challenge. I'm always welcome to testing my skills. From this night on, if you should ever wish to test your skills, I will talk to my sister. She seems very territorial over the area that we call home. But I will talk to her, and I will ensure that you are my guest, and you may come as you please within our haven, and we may test ourselves against each other as often as you would like.
that is that is gracious of you. Thank you. If you, in case you should ever need to find me, ask for me at the Hospital of the Templars. Someone there will either know where to find me or tell me where to find you.
Of course. And once I have my sister's assurances that you will not be hampered in any way coming to our haven, I will, of course, leave a message of where you can find me.
Did Alright, but be careful with the message.
I will. Of course, I will. So for now, and he will stand up and he will offer his hand to Reinhard.
Reiner will accept the hand and shake it. I think it's the grab the wrist and
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think that is where we can end our scene.
yes.
All right. So we thank you, watcher, for watching. We thank you, players, for playing. This has been another episode for Edessa, the Dark Crusade, Vampire the Dark Ages. We hope that you have a good evening, a good night, wherever you are. Bye.